Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. I'm going to talk about something that is the opposite of what I generally talk about today, and that's going to be an age gap relationship with a Filipina of your own age. So I'm not endorsing one over the other. I've talked at length in many videos here about the benefits of age gap relationship to both. However, I would be very remiss and foolish to not recognize that there are benefits in being married to someone your own age. So please leave comments about this topic. If you are dead set on marrying a younger Filipina, and that's what I did back in 2015, think about these 9 things and just be aware that they can cause problems. Maybe start to form a plan on how you might be able to work around that. So just going to make sure I can get back to my place here. Let's try the start. Let's start with this one here. It's from www.makingdifferent.com, and it's called Benefits of Marrying Someone Your Own Age. And I do agree with these things. When a person enters a relationship with someone, the goal is to have a long-lasting relationship. As it turns out, a long-lasting relationship depends on several factors, age being one such factor for success. Would you agree? In a time when cougars are sporting their eye candies and sugar daddies are splurging on their sugar babies, is the impact of age on relationships relevant? Studies say yes. A recent study has brought to attention the importance of age in relationship success. It tells how the increase in the age gap between partners leads to an increase in the probability of separation. Now this is just me interjecting here. They're probably not, getting data from, older foreigners and younger Filipinas. So maybe there's a difference with that. Maybe it's easier. Let me know what you think. So back to the article in this blog, we are going to understand the role of age in relationship dynamics and how the closeness of your age to your partner's age can translate to a long-lasting marriage. Let's start with the first benefit of marrying someone your own age. And please subscribe here to Love Beyond the Sea. I've been making close to 1,300 videos in the last 4 years and 10 months. And it's very important to me to help connect with people who are interested in Filipina. If you already have married a Filipina and you want to share your comments, I'd like this to be a place for that. I try to come up with all kinds of topics that go deep into the, marriage relationship. And I've been married, if I didn't say it, 7.5 years to my wife from the Philippines. We got married very quickly in only 54 days. So first benefit they list, having a shared history. When both you and your partner are of the same age, you are both at the same stage of life. You must have had similar life experiences. And they're probably assuming here that you're in the same country, more or less. This is a big one when it comes to relationships, since a healthy relationship is based on compatibility and understanding. A shared life history ensures that you both understand each other. That's their comment. I don't know that it ensures that, but it sure helps to have a shared history. Many guys, even if they've been talking to a Filipino overseas for a lot longer than we did, their history doesn't include probably much time together in person, where you learn the most, especially by being married. So I think they'll be a little bit disadvantaged there, having a shared history. Ours is 7.5 years and going. That's our history. We've had to learn everything from the ground level. And so I detail a lot of things about how that's gone here on Love Beyond the Sea. Second point they make, chasing the same life goals. Let's say you're a 50-year-old man dating a 20-something girl. That happens a lot in the Philippines with foreigners and Filipinas. At 50, they say you have already hustled through life and established yourself as someone. Now you are in a place to tone it down and enjoy your life with your partner. However, does your 20-something partner share the same view as you? It's more than likely that your young partner also wants to sweat it out to make her own name in this world. A difference in life goals is a major reason for marital discord. Getting married to someone of the same age reduces the rise of such situations. Well, I would say that would be true. what can you do? Well, if you're still working, keep working, but that doesn't mean you can't, share her goals. You're done chasing soon. Yes, I'm retired, so I'm done chasing. I have a retirement account, and we use that. My wife is also working. That's pretty important. Why? Because I'm home and we're not crisscrossing our paths with work, I can support her life goals, her work, the shift she wants to work on. I want to know everything about how it's going and encourage her and pray for her and always follow up, keep up with her. If she tells me something was troubling, I want to make sure I ask her, how did that go? Did you have a chance to talk to so-and-so yet? And I want to be very positive and uplifting for her. She's also going to school right now. It's a tough grind. And into end of next year. So, but we'll just keep pushing through that together because I think there are benefits for her that I've observed with her stretching herself to do all the different types of assignments that she's asked to do as a student here in the United States. It's been a while since she was a student in the Philippines. So she's had to kind of get back on the bike there. But with me not being working, I can look forward to assisting her. So this good point really hasn't affected us. Number 3, same-age partners match each other in wisdom. If you've been around for a while, it's likely you've learned a thing or two more than a younger person. This makes you wiser than them. Chances are you're not going to get the same level of wisdom in a younger partner. This might prove a blunder on your path to a happy marriage, since a younger partner won't be able to match your wisdom and maturity. Well, generally true, but there are some, older men who aren't all that mature and some younger Filipinos that really are. They won't have the life experience the same, but maybe they got raised different. Maybe her, having to tough it out in the Philippines has strengthened her. They're tough. Some of these Filipinos are tough, and like my wife is. So regardless of your age, try to become wise. Learn from other people, especially when it comes to marriage. People that are serious about their marriage. When you're around wise people, you'll gain in wisdom, no matter what your age is. Number 4, equality in the relationship. They say age mates have a higher chance of getting respect from each other. When men and women of the same age start dating, they will experience more tolerance and mutual respect for each other. This happens because both are familiar and sensitive to what the other is going through in life. I have a cup of coffee here because this was originally going to be a live stream, and either nobody was watching or I was messing it up somehow. So equality in the relationship, again, if there's an age gap, that doesn't mean there's not equality. You have to give the equality. You have to give the respect. You have to give the love. You can't be self-centered. And you got to want that relationship to work. So I don't think the equality thing is that big deal. I think it comes down to the husband. Are you going to trying to dominate your wife, which they don't want, or are you considering her an equal, and you're both making decisions? As a husband, as I've said before, I think this is very biblical. He is the head of the wife. He is responsible for the whole shooting match and the big decisions. I would let her make as many decisions as she can that she thinks is for her good. Now, if there's any reason you disagree, I think it's the husband's job to step in and say, well, I don't think so, and here's why, and hope that she will agree with you. But you're in charge and responsible. So, but I don't think how that should affect equality in the relationship. Number 5 point they make: having the same zeal and spontaneity towards life. Let's admit it, they say, we're not going to have the same level of energy, fitness, and stamina throughout our life, only natural. Since husbands and wives belong to the same age group, have the same level of energy and spontaneity, they can be a companion to each other in the truest sense, according to the article. Partying, hiking, dancing, adventurous activities or not so adventurous activities won't be a major issue when you can match each other's fitness and energy levels. That's something to think about. Now, some guys that are older, they have good energy. I mean, probably because they've been active their whole life, and they would like to stay active. And so, naturally, they probably are more geared towards a younger wife. Now, of course, anything can happen at any time, but This is just something to think about. If you're much older and less mobile, you'll need to find ways to work on this area about same zeal and spontaneity towards life. You'll have to find things that you find in common, especially for what's important to her, and help her to achieve those things. She will appreciate it, and I think it will benefit the marriage. Number 6, being with someone who really loves you. They say it's when there is no reason for someone to stay with you but still decides to stay. It's the one that truly loves you. Many people choose to be with a younger partner because they admire their partner's looks. However, being with someone your own age might be the right thing to do. You may be able to retain your energy and youthful look for now, but it's just a matter of time. Time will start catching up with you. A partner of the same age won't hold these inevitable age-related bodily changes against you as they are in the same boat as you. So being with someone who really loves you, I guess they figure that if you're in an age gap relationship, they must be in it for different reasons. I think, as I said before, in the age gap marriages, if you treat her right, she can learn to love you. You can learn to love her. It's going to get, the bloom will be off the rose soon in the relationship, and then you really have to work things out. And when you work things out and tough things out, you, I think, can become more in love with each other. So my point here, just to comment on being with someone who really loves you, just love them. And then don't worry about if somebody loves you or not. And a lot of these foreign or Filipino relationships, because of the distance, there just is not a lot of familiarity. And the women do want, financial security. And of course, the man wants, intimacy and younger companion and so on. Maybe someone to help take care of him later in life. So just worry about loving that person. I would worry about that more than her loving me. And then if you love her, she'll probably going to love you right back. So there's my thoughts on point number 6. 7, you can have the same hobbies. Isn't it fun when you and your partners have similar interests? They say this not only ensures you always have something to talk about with your loved one, but also plays a role in strengthening your relationship in the long run. What we've done, my wife's interests, like theatrical plays, we've gone to 4 or 5 of those. I hope we do it more. I really have enjoyed them. I didn't think I would. And she's been to some sporting events with me. She likes to travel. I thought I wouldn't. Well, now I do. Thanks to her. Thanks to being married to a woman like that. So you can always be married. And this kind of goes back to that other point about, similar energy and spontaneity. I'm not the most spontaneous guy, but if we want to plan it out, I'm willing to do things for her. And almost always I say that I'm glad that I did. Number 8, just 2 more here. The ability to easily mix up with their friends and family. They say if you're at the farther end of the age bracket, it's more than likely your friends also belong to the same age group. A younger partner may not be comfortable, or rather may not be able to mix it up with your friends. And they say, you see, that's a bit of an issue. This is an issue because both your partner and friends may feel left out in each other's company. Have you ever thought about that? This is something you don't want, since it creates an unwanted strain on your relationship as well as your friendship. And I can see where a Filipina might not really want to just dive into her new country and answer umpteen questions about, why they got married and how old is your husband and how old are you and how long have you know each other and so on. They may just say, I don't want to be around that, because that's all anybody's going to ask me, and I just don't want to do that. I've heard some of that from my wife, and I understand it, because I try to understand her, the way she perceives things, looks at things. I need to know. There can be no assumptions. I need to ask her, why do you feel that way? And then, if she tells me, I will know. Their last point, number 9, the prospect of growing old together. One of the best reasons to be married to someone the same age is the prospect of growing old together. Sounds good to me. Both of you can achieve the same life goals, go through the same life experiences, and also be there for each other when time turns against you. And then they say there, a younger partner may start to resent their decision when age-related issues begin to crop up. Well, we're going to have to think through these most likely situations and other scenarios that could come up later in life. And I suppose as the husband, it would be good for you, if you're serious about someone you're going to propose to her, that you do talk about this. What are the potential cons in our relationship if we, have an age gap marriage? Don't assume everything is fine. She's giving, no doubt. She's giving up something to get something, and so are you. Um, Although a lot of times, as I'll say in this last article I'll show here, older men prefer, are more satisfied with younger women. And that's a very interesting, part of a very interesting comment I'm going to share for you really soon. But just to say before I leave this part that, yeah, there's advantages to being the same age as your Filipina. Lots of guys I know, the more I make videos on TikTok, which is doing really well, and YouTube and other places, that there are men who don't want to marry a younger woman. They want someone within 5 years, same age. Sometimes the woman's a little older. They've probably thought through some of these things, maybe without even thinking about it. So I want you to go through these 9 points after the video and consider it. It's okay if you look for an age gap relationship. Again, I want to be legalistic, but I think there's a certain age where, there begins to be diminishing returns. And I'll just say 30-year age gap. And our age gap isn't that much, but it's up there. You just have to be, practical. The closer to the same age, I guess ultimately I would endorse that for everybody, but younger Filipinas are available. You just have to know, what you need to know to be married to her. And I just checked my younger woman playlist, younger wife, whatever I called it, playlist, and you can see all the videos I've made on that topic, since it is very, a popular topic. Now, this comes from HuffPost. It says, your marriage is more likely to be satisfying if you marry someone your age. They say when it comes to settling down, most people look for the following qualities in a long-term partner: shared values, honesty, sense of humor, trustworthiness, and passion. But what about age? According to a new study published in the Journal of Population Economics, this is about 5 years ago, your spouse's age will most likely determine the length of your marriage as well as how much satisfaction you can derive from it. That caught my eye. The research, which looked at the data of more than 17,000 Australians, found that both men and women tended to be more satisfied with a younger spouse and more dissatisfied with an older spouse. Not surprising. They said, we find that men who are married to younger wives are the most satisfied. Men who are married to older wives are the least satisfied, notes the study's co-author. Now, what do they also say? They also say, this is kind of distressing, women are also particularly dissatisfied when they're married to older husbands, and particularly satisfied if they're married to younger husbands. Wow. Now, they did say that the research found that this high level of satisfaction was short-lived. And I would agree, eventually you're going to have to get around to loving each other selflessly, and forgiveness, the hard things, being patient. They say the higher levels of satisfaction were erased after only 6 to 10 years because it seemed they were more financially vulnerable. Study co-author said, adding that the data suggested that couples with a large age gap are more likely to be living on a single income. This also could contribute to them being more financially vulnerable if something bad happens. In my case, I'm retired, but my wife is working, and if you don't have children of your own and she's working, she probably wants to work, then I don't think that money is going to be the biggest factor. It says here that, rounding it out, the research also led the study authors to hypothesize that differently aged couples are less resilient to negative shocks compared to couples who are similarly aged. Well, it's interesting because the older husband would hopefully have the wisdom to handle things better than a younger person would. And just the last couple of comments from this article. One reason why couples who are of similar age have longer-term marital satisfaction are because they have more shared experiences, and we believe that couples who are of a similar age are more likely to talk about plans for the future because they are at similar places of the careers and lives. Well, even if you have an age gap, I think it's very important to talk about your future nonetheless. So let me know what you think about this topic. I'm in an age gap. A lot of people are, a lot of people aren't. And so I'm kind of presenting the other side. Not that I ever favored and said everybody should do what I did and marry a younger Filipina. A lot of people have told me, "Oh, that's crazy. They would never do that." But they marry somebody, a little younger or the same age. So, and some have even married a Filipina that's a little older. So please subscribe here, Love Beyond the Sea. Check out some of my other videos and playlist. Love to have you as a subscriber. And we'll continue to get the word out on how to have a happy marriage with your love beyond the sea.